Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your closing bell for Friday, April 1st, 2022. Happy April Fool's Day. Tough day on social media because I don't believe half the shit, anyways, but on April Fool's Day, you really got to play close attention for the wise guys out there putting up some phony stuff. So you click on and you get fooled. Uh, Jeff Passan just dropped a bomb where the Met camps were sure hoping it was April Fool's. And then our buddy Marty Lowe sent me something earlier today of a possible trade. And I says, well, is it real or is it April Fool's? And sure enough, Jeff Passan talked about it 5 minutes later. And it's a trade that there was a lot of talks about Kimbrel, and they brought him over to the White Sox, which looked like the cherry on top, the way that the White Sox were playing last year, the way Kimbrel was pitching. But it kind of blew up in their face. He came back to the American League, and he didn't adapt well to the eighth inning spot where the ninth inning they had Hendricks, and kind of made it pretty clear and adamant that he needs to be a closer. That's his mentality. And they wait till a week before opening day, and they needed an outfielder, and in comes Pollock for Kimbrel. And I just tweeted a few minutes ago that the Dodgers are now kind of doing it ass backwards, meaning from the ninth back. I retweeted Jeff Passan, and I'm going to talk to Scott about this. The names, the arms, the power arms that they have in the back there now with a Treinen, with a Kimbrel, with a Gasterol. May will be back. Price is there, and they still have 3 or 4 other arms. So in other words, back in the Yankee glory days, just give me 5 and we'll take care of the rest. And I think the Dodgers are, I said kiddingly, they got 2 starters and then a cloud of dust. I said Bauer will be back for them probably on June 1st, but we'll see. But let's bring him in. Let's hear what Scotty has to say about the news in baseball, and then we're going to go through the NBA. I'm going to go through some hockey leans, talk quickly about the women's Final Four, and get you guys out of here. But without further ado, the man with the plan from the Palm Tree State himself, the one, the only, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Good afternoon, Scott.
How are we today, Jeff?
Never a dull day, huh?
Hey, nothing ever happens around here.
Never. I was blessed to have cut my trip 2 days short because the flight that I was on last night was 3 hours delayed, and it didn't land in the Logan this morning until 11 a.m. instead of 6:30 a.m. So I was gifted, and now I am back. I am fresh. I am close to East Coast time. I got one more night where I'll toss and turn a little, but all is well. So let's start with the negativity because, listen, this guy has battled and battled and battled. Now that they added Max Scherzer, just in the last 2 weeks, I thought their total went from 89.5 up to as high as 92.5. So they got the 2 aces on top, or we like to say pocket aces with Max and DeGrom. And you talked about Bassett and the rest of the staff. Huge hole, number one. But number two, listen, his injuries and his resume, I mean, I guess the word injury prone is going to be pretty solid at this point. And I can't stand we're going to shut him down for a month and then reevaluate. That never ends well, Scotty.
Well, this is a bone problem, not a muscle problem. So being a bone problem, that's a lot better. And I don't, anytime you have a problem, that's not good. But it's a bone problem, not a anything that needs to be fixed problem. So the issue here is you get built up to throw a certain number of pitches, and then you got to shut down. So he's shut down now for 4 weeks. So we are April 1st, so 4 weeks, that's May 1st. Truth is he's probably going to be a little bit longer than that. My guess is he's going to be at least 5 weeks shut down. Then he's got to build back up. So that's going to take another couple weeks. So I'm guessing end of May for first part of June, if everything goes well for him. He is he's not super old. I mean, he's 33 years old. So his recovery shouldn't be too bad. I mean, he ought to be able to do this. In reference, Michael Wacha had this problem. So I'm not trying to compare DeGrom to Wacha. I'm just saying that Wacha, he sat out for, I think it was 6 weeks or 7 weeks before he started pitching again. And I mean, actually in games pitching. So it's not the end of the world, but it's certainly not. This is not something that in this competitive of a division that you want to have happen. And you needed him to be up there. So it's not a good thing for the Mets, but I would tell you that it's not the end of the world.
Well, I guess we look at the glass half full here for the Mets. Max is there every fifth day. He's going to get you. Listen, if you try to pull him before the seventh, he's going to rip your head off anyway. So just let him be Max there. Maybe lean on him with the fact that you got the DeGrom hole. So if I said nicely Memorial Day, that gets you the 7 weeks there. And then you know what? I think if Mets fans could sign up right now for June 1st and he'd pitch the rest of the year, I think they would sign up for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, 2 months is what, 60 days divided by 5 starts. So he's going to miss probably 11, 12 starts. And if he's supposed to start 32 games, he's still going to throw 20 games. So that's enough to make a difference. If you come in and you only throw 8 or 9 or 10 games at the end, okay, well, that doesn't help that much. But if you throw 20 games, that's a decent amount. The problem could be is that in these first 60 days, they might be out of it, and you ain't going to catch them. If somebody gets hot and runs away, I don't know. Say the Phillies get hot and they start running away with everything. You're not going to catch them when you're 60 days behind them. So they got to play really good, and they don't have any room for error. Bullpen can't allow any mistakes. They got to clean, get things done. I will say this for the Mets that I don't think people are counting on because of the way he played last year. Francisco Lindor is an MVP kind of player, and he's going to be all-star at worst kind of player for the Mets this year, and he will do very good for the Mets as they go forward. So he can help, and Scherzer fills that spot. So they're not going to be in a problem when matchups come along. Bassett's going to fill the number 2 spot, so that's not going to be an issue either. It's your 3, 4, 5 guys now. I mean, Carrasco is not going to be a favorite over too many pitchers anymore. I think he's washed. So, that's just me. I don't think he's going to get it done. And I think Taijuan Walker, he's coming off an injury, so I don't know what he's going to be like. I thought he pitched pretty well for them last year, but I don't know that he's going to be that same guy this year. And then they're going to have to put in, Tyler Miguel's going to have to hold it over. And I don't know. That's not matching up to what the Braves can do. And that doesn't even really match up to what the Phillies can do. So the Mets don't have as good a rotation without DeGrom as those other two. And they certainly don't have the offense the other two do.
The Dodgers trade with the White Sox. Is this more Dodgers saying that we didn't want Treinen as the closer? An abundance of outfielders where they could move Pollock. From passing. The bullpen now for the Dodgers. Kimbrel, Treinen, Daniel Hudson, Gatterall, who the Red Sox had, and the doctor lied to us, only throws $102. Vesia, Bruel, Victor Gonzalez, who again I don't know much of, Tyler Anderson, David Price, and then he adds that Dustin May, Danny Duffy, Tommy Cannell, and Phil Bickford will all be back at some point.
Yeah, here's what I think. I think they got a pretty good deal. Think of it this way: they get rid of Pollock, who's just been an average at best player for them, and I think they expected him to be more than that. They have Gavin Lux, who can play out there, and they need to give him a spot. But that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they go and they did that because they're going to go sign Michael Conforto.
It just, and I said sarcastically, June 1st, Bauer will be on the mound and pitching for them. And there was, I think it was the Yankee game. Yankees were playing Baltimore, I think it was, or maybe it was the Dodgers playing Baltimore. And I think it was the Yankees because they said Cole's salary matched the whole Oriole payroll for the year. And we've talked at length, and I don't want to turn this into a, like the NFL with their fictitious salary cap and they can just bend all the rules and whatever. But, I think it would be a lot better if, hey, the luxury tax was $250 million. You can spend up to it, but you have to make some kind of a floor where every team has to spend maybe at least 75 or 100 million. I mean, to spend $33 million when guys are making 33, 35, 38 million a year is just preposterous, Scott.
Well, it makes it a very difficult thing when you're trying to look at competitive play. However, I will say, I've got the salaries right here in front of me. So the Baltimore Orioles, their 26-man payroll for this season is $26,100,000. And the Los Angeles Dodgers are $234 million.
Makes no sense.
New York Mets 243, Yankees 224, Phillies 202. And you got I would tell you this. You said what number, like 75, 80 million?
Yeah.
You got the Tampa Bay Rays 64 million. Arizona Diamondbacks 65 million or 75 million. Kansas City Royals 67, Miami Marlins 68, Pittsburgh Pirates 24 million, Baltimore Orioles 26 million, Cleveland Guardians 36 million, and the Oakland A's 39 million. So,
well, the Guardians is going to almost double because they're talking about an extension to Ramirez, which kind of surprised me because I heard, maybe that they just totally blow it up and then they trade him at the deadline. But I guess my question again, Scott, is the addition of Kimbrel and knowing that he can't pitch in the 8th and he needs the 9th inning spot. I mean, was that more the Dodgers saying, Blake, hey, we love your stuff, we're going to move you back to the 8th spot? Or was this just something that they had in abundance? They didn't need Pollock. Get Kimbrel. It's a good headache to have.
Well, I don't think Treinen really cares whether he pitches in the 8th or the 9th or whatever. He didn't necessarily pitch in the 9th last year. So I don't really think that he cares. I mean, he was only pitching in the 8th or the 9th inning when he was with Oakland. And to be honest, he only turned his career around in the bullpen. I mean, he was a starting pitcher and couldn't pitch. So you put him in the bullpen and then, he comes in, he throws so hard and he's only got to throw, 25, 35 pitches and he can do that. So as a starter, he can't go 100 pitches. So I don't think there's any concern with them. And I think here's what I think. I think the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are now being run by Tampa Bay Ray executives, are the Tampa Bay Rays on steroids. So I think that those guys are going to interchange players. How many championship great baseball teams do you see have a bunch of role players? Very few. Most of them don't. Most of them don't have platoon situations and all that stuff because they need that stability of the player to play every day. Well, the Rays do it through the platoon system, and now the Dodgers have had a lot of platoon type guys. With Pollock moving over, that gets rid of some of that. So, but they still have a lot of guys that play everywhere. I mean, Chris Taylor can catch and play second base and any other damn place you want, and put him in the outfield, and Bellinger can play center field and first base, and Muncy can play everywhere, and Gavin Lux can play everywhere. So I mean, and those aren't bad players. I mean, those are great players. So I mean, I think you got to have the same issue in the bullpen. Gretterall can close for a lot of teams. So I mean, you've got a lot of stuff there, and everybody talks about the Dodgers, and I've talked about it and said, well, they don't have the same pitching that they used to have, and that's really true. But don't forget, they got 3 quality starting pitchers. I mean, I know most people are probably down on Walker Buehler, but I think Walker Buehler is going to pitch really well this season. And I think, and then you still have Urias, who pitched really well last year. Was the only 20-game winner in Major League Baseball, and you got Kershaw back. And I get it. Kershaw is not the same Kershaw that he was, but he's a pitcher, and he's going to go second or third. What are you going to do? You got Clayton Kershaw going to throw out a 3-hole. He's going to be the favorite a lot, and so I don't think you're going to have any issues with the Dodgers pitching. Andrew Heaney sucks, and he's on that rotation. But Tony Gonsolin's a pretty good pitcher. I think he's very much more than serviceable, and he's going to be a 4-5 kind of guy. So I like the Dodger pitching. I don't think it's terrible. And then theoretically, all they got to do is go 5 innings and shit. They can hold down whatever they need to hold down, and that offense can score. I don't know how many runs they're going to score, but they can score a shit ton.
Well, that's the thing with the 4-5 with Gonsolin and Haney is the fact of the matter is those are the days that, hey, they'll probably get you to the 4th. You try to sneak them into the 5th. Now with the DH, you might be able to get an extra out or 2 because they're not going to be batting. And the fact of the matter is that the Dodgers on those days, are going to have to put up, 5, 6, or 7, to have a shot. And they got the offense to do it. I mean, that damn lineup is long and longer. I mean,
well, they signed Tyler Anderson to be that stretch bullpen, long relief. Okay, this guy's struggling, starting guy, pitcher. He was a starting pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. I don't know if people know who I'm talking about, but that's who he is. And the reality is that he's, maybe they get a hold of him and they make him a little bit better than what he was. Dustin May, I think is a great arm. So, he's I'm trying to look and see when he's due back. Dustin May, he had Tommy John surgery in May of last year. So it usually takes about 14 months. So what is that? May, June, July. So he's like July, and he's back. And you got Danny Duffy. He had flexor tendon surgery, so I don't even know if he's going to make it. But and that was in October of 2021. But that's a great sign for them. Tommy Kahnle is the other guy that's out of that bullpen. That he had Tommy John surgery in August of 20. So we're in 2022. So Tommy Kahnle is going to pitch pretty soon, he's going to be ready to go pretty soon. And Jimmy Nelson's the one who's going to be a little bit longer away, but they got a lot of guys that can pitch, and Trevor Bauer is he can pitch too. So I don't know if what they're gonna do with him, but it's just amazing. I'm trying to look at what they got in the depth for this team. They got a couple of guys that are in AAA that can come up and help them out too if they have to. A guy named Mitch White and Andre Jackson. Both of those guys are prospects that can pitch for them. Trying to see if they got anybody that you would know. Nobody that's any good anyway. I mean, they got lots of pitchers.
They also they have a checkbook and pen too. So
well, yeah, $270 million or whatever the hell it was. I mean, Jesus Christ, and they got Mookie Betts, then Freddie Freeman, and then Trey Turner and Max Muncy, and just keep going down. Justin Turner, Will Smith, Chris Taylor, Bellinger, and now Gavin Lux will be the regular player for them. So I mean, it is what it is.
It's Friday. It's Fade the Public Friday, as I like to say. It's payday out there. Our job is to maybe find some hidden gems in the NBA, NHL. As I said earlier, I might just talk a little women's hoop as well when it gets to my turn. But, Scotty, the NBA slate, I think I said it was 10 deep. As Mr. Lucky likes to say, the gift that keeps giving. The Lakers are now a pick 'em at Westgate and South Point against the New Orleans. Denver opened up at 4, now 2.5 against the T-Wolves. I mean, San Antonio favored by 15. I guess Tim Duncan's coming back for a quick game or two. This one's, I mean, I haven't looked at the injuries, but I'll be interested when you tell me. Phoenix, a 7-point favorite over Memphis. I mean, I know that it's been said on Twitter. I think Memphis is like 17-2 outright without Ja Morant there. Milwaukee opened at 8.5, dropped to 3.5. I did see the blurb there that Middleton is out there. Your favorite team, the Sacramento, or I call them the Tomatoes, 3-point favorites at Houston. The Celtics 15-point favorites against the Pacers. Pacers beat them last time by 21 there. Toronto opened at 9.5, now 11.5 at your Orlando Magic. And Dallas 8.5, now 7.5 at the Westgate and Caesars at Washington. Take it away, my brother.
Yeah, I don't know about that game. That Dallas game is a little concerning to me, the way the line's moving, because Washington is not that good, and their best player is Kyle Kuzma, and he's not playing tonight. So if Kyle Kuzma is not playing, and people are still betting on him, I don't get it. So that's a I go run and hide play, but my number says that Dallas is only 4 points better anyway. So on the road. So I'm not playing on Washington because Kuzma is not playing, and I'm not going to go the other way because that's probably about right. If you think about Kuzma's not playing, and then the line should be 4, and then okay, well, no, he's not playing, so maybe it's worth 4 or 5 more. Toronto and Orlando game. These numbers have all changed except for this game. This game was 9.5. Now it's 11.5, but that's because Orlando's playing. Everybody bets against Orlando all the time anyway. The total was 218.5, and now it's 217.5. I liked it under the 218 or 2. But I'm just gonna leave it alone. It moved in the right direction. Indiana, they're playing tonight with Brissett and Bizdale out. So 2 of their key players, not out, they're game time decisions. I guess I shouldn't say they're out, but they're a 50-50 chance to play. And I just don't like I'm not going to bet on them to cover 15. So if I was going to play on a team, I'd play on the other way. And I'm certainly not going to do that with 2 guys out. So I'm passing on that game. Sacramento and Houston, they might as well just not even play. Here's a game the game that you were talking about, the Clippers in Milwaukee, right? So it opens 8.5. It's down to 3.5. And Middleton, you said, it's not playing, which I knew that. The Greek Freak's out, brother. He is not playing tonight. But I've got it pulled up here so that I can tell you this. I am playing this game, and I am playing Milwaukee minus 3.5. And here's why. I get it, Okuntempupo or whatever. He's not playing. So the Clippers, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys listed as not playing tonight. So who in the hell is playing? So I kind of looked them up. They got 2 guys that average like 10 points a game. So I'm like, they got Terrence Mann. It's going to be the point guard. Luke Kennard is the shooting guard. Amir Coffey is the shooting forward. Robert Covington is the point forward. And I don't even know how to say this guy's name. Ivica Zubac is the center. That's who they're starting tonight. And the guys that are out is Nicholas Batum, which he's been out for a little while, but Brandon Boston, Paul George, Reggie Jackson, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, Norman Powell, and Jason Preston. I mean, all these guys are not playing. They haven't been playing, some of them. I just think that's way too much of a blind move. I get it. Antetokounmpo is worth a ton of points, but if you got the Clippers and they're not playing anybody either, I'll take the champs over the guys that aren't doing so well. So and these are meaningful games for Milwaukee. I mean, they want to get the number 1 seed or number 2 seed if they can get there. So I think they're the number 3 seed right now. So they want to win these games, especially at home. So I like the idea that Milwaukee's going to cover 3.5. I hope it goes down to 3, but I already bet it at 3.5. And then that game that we were talking about with New Orleans and the Lakers, I saw that this morning. The line opened -1.5. It was -2 earlier. Then I saw it flip to New Orleans -1. You just told me it's back to pick 'em again. There's no way I could bet the Lakers in this game. But I don't think I mind betting the damn over in the game. So I played it over 230.5. And especially some of these games and these totals have gone crazy. That Minnesota Denver game opened at 233.5, Jeff. Now it's 242, almost 10 points difference in the total. And I'm like, how can an opening line that a legitimate sports book puts out be 10 points wrong and people still be betting the over? There's no way. So I just look at it and go, okay, I'm going to play this over 30.5, and I'm going to play on the Milwaukee Bucks.
I'm going to pass on the CIB. Fresno State still holding 3 against Coastal Carolina. We talked a little about that this morning. I'm going to head over to hockey. There was a couple games that caught my eye in hockey. We talked about trusting the opening numbers, and there's one that I'm going to go to. But before then, earlier this week, we had the Leafs plus, 140 against the Bruins. The line opened at 125. The public steamed it to about 143, 144. And we were on the Leafs, and the Leafs rolled. I think this is the same model here. Edmonton opened up -130 against the Blues. It's been steamed up to as high as 160 at DraftKings, 151 at Circa, 150 at Westgate, 155 at South Point. So I lean the Blues here plus the 138 against Edmonton there. And here's the one where I say trust the opening line and respect it. Anaheim Ducks opened up -145 today at Arizona. It's down to 116 and 115. Public's been betting all in on the Yotes. 76% of the bets, 67% of the money. I'm going to use the reverse Jedi mind tricks here, and I'm going to take the Ducks minus the 116. I can get it at 115 right now at Westgate. So those are my two hockey plays. The college hoops, I just wanted to preface this, okay? The two best teams in the country this year have been South Carolina and Stanford. South Carolina opened up 7.5 and now 8.5. You can get them at 8 at DraftKings and Caesars. Over opened at 121, now down to 119. They're expecting a defensive battle there. I think South Carolina wins. I think they win by double digits. Now, if you want a little pizza and beer money, as we like to say here, I would grab South Carolina plus the 8. Now, UConn is not the same UConn with Sue Bird and Rebecca Lobo and Brianna Stewart and my all-time favorite, Diana Taurasi. I always smile. I love that girl. I still do. She was phenomenal. They have a girl by the name Paige Buchers who got hurt with like 20 seconds left. They gave her the ball. They were up 20. She was dribbling up court, and her knee just gave out. And she missed like 6-7 weeks. She's back. She's rounding into form. Was a big reason why they beat NC State in overtime. their last game. They opened up a pick 'em against Stanford. And the public knows Stanford's the better team. I'm telling everyone Stanford's the better team. Yet the line's gone to 1.5, 2 at DraftKings. So again, pizza and beer money, I would take on UConn plus the 2. If they do lose, hope it's by 1. So those are the two I again would do some pizza and beer money there. Any questions, problems, comments, concerns, you can reach me at EC Sports Invest. You can DM me if you want, and you can reach Scotty at Webby20MLB, and you can do the same there. I know I haven't asked this question in a long, long time, and I'm probably catching you off guard. Do we have any Webby's words of wisdom?
I do.
All right, hold on. That time of the day, people's Webby's words of wisdom.
Well, actually, I wrote these on one of the other shows that I was getting ready for and we didn't do. So this one is about tenacity and being tenacious, because I think there's a difference between tenacity and having passion and being aggressive, because tenacity is a lot of those characteristics, but not really quite everything. So tenacious being having a drive and a passion. It can mean being methodical. It can mean being analytical or efficient. It does not mean being the loudest voice in the room, nor does it always mean moving at breakneck speed. It means when you need to show up, you are there with confidence and strength. That's what tenacity means. And when you go through life that way, and you go into your business world that way, you can handle those obstacles. You can handle the disadvantages that come your way, and you can just handle the plain bad times, because you don't always control the bad times or the good times. You have to persevere through those things, and being tenacious allows that to happen. So to train yourself on trying to be tenacious, you have to put in the preparation, right? Be organized, know due dates, do your research, have your analytical stuff done, stay longer if you have to, put in the time. Second, be a forward thinker. So plan in advance, kind of look forward to what's going to happen. So tenacious people don't let life pass them by. They live in the now. They live for the future. They wake up, and today they're going to go accomplish something, and then they apply everything they have in the task and goals to get those things accomplished. That's what tenaciousness does. That's what tenacious people do. Tap into your passion and purpose. Seek opportunities, right? So you're always wanting to go and finish off things and then create new ones, because you got to move forward. And then know your worth, right? Visualize, research, reaching your dreams. Tenacious people are people that have ambitious goals, big goals, goals that embarrass other people. And you need to be one of those types of people. And in our world of sports, it's many of the same things. You have ups and downs, even more so in our world than you do in a business world or in a life world. So you have to have tenaciousness to get through that. And if you really think about what we just said about preparation and being organized, and if you have to stay late, you stay late. You do the research. Be a forward thinker, right? You're doing all this planning. You live for the now, and you look ahead a little bit. You tap into your passion and your purpose, right? People forget there's a purpose for why they do things. You tap into that, you're going to be able to get through whatever those ups and downs are in your business world and in your sports world. And I think you just apply the same formula. So, the idea here is, you can fill your mind with doubt and as an investor. And if you do that, you're certain for failure and certain for doom. But if you follow the right steps to have the tenaciousness to get through the process, I think you're going to find yourself in a lot better scenario on the end, and you're going to put yourself in a formula or a process that works in terms of getting your mind right to make actual good wagers.
Webby's words of wisdom. Been a while, but it's good to be back. Always good stuff. Um, I was talking a lot out in Vegas, and when we were sitting with Mr. Lucky, and he was talking about how much he enjoys your words of wisdom, and we were talking about conviction, tenacity, and all those words that you use. And he actually his favorite quote from you is when you come out with the "Holy shit, Jeff." He loves it, and I cracked a smile. He's such a nice guy. It was so great to meet him, and we'll have plenty more chances out in Vegas. And I told him anytime he wants to come back east to go to Fenway Park, we will be here to oblige, definitely. So everyone here, the goal simply is this: is currently Saturday and Sunday we will do a breakfast bankroll show. We will get everyone set for the weekend. I said currently think that we'll do is the American League on Monday. So we'll do a breakfast bankroll and maybe pull a American League in the afternoon, Scott, or evening. Uh, actually afternoon, because I get meetings on Monday night. Tuesday we'll do the National League, and Wednesday, a day before the season starts, we'll go over some futures, some predictions on divisions, home run totals. I have a Juan Soto at 40-1. I talked to Lucky, and I said, and I've talked to you about it. I said I'm a little disturbed at myself. I didn't come back with a Tyler O'Neill at 40-1 as well there. But we'll talk some futures, and now with DeGrom out at least a month, probably, as Scott said, 6 to 7 weeks, probably. That East, I know you've been leaning the Braves all along, so that might kind of help you in the Braves there. I actually, when I'm trying to figure these divisions out, it's tough to go chalk. I mean, I think a lot of people have the Jays already penciled in. They have obviously the White Sox penciled in. They have the Astros penciled in. I would have to say in the NL, obviously the Dodgers, the Brewers, and the East. Now, I probably would have to lean as the Braves as the favorite, but I think the Phillies are sneaky. I think if they can get some back end help and some 3, 4, 5 help, I think they're going to be a dangerous opponent. Kind of reminds me, Scott, of the Sox. Good lineup, long. Have 1 or 2 decent starters. Back end's pretty good. I mean, but 3, 4, 5 is always a big issue.
Well, I look at the Phillies as a team that have good players, great hitters, but a bad lineup. So you have to have multiple ways to score, and that's the problem with the New York Yankees and why they don't function well. So you're going to have what? Kyle Schwarber lead off, Castellanos bats second, Harper bats third, and Hoskins bats fourth. After that, after those 4 guys, you're going to then have what? Real Muto, Segura, the shortstop Gregorius, and then you're going to have the 2 kids, the center fielder, because they got a problem out there. Veerling's going to play, and I think Byron Stott's going to play. So you got 4 guys. That's what you got. And if you normally have 4 guys, you can make a lineup pretty damn deep if you can get the right guy to bat first, and then get another guy to bat kind of, right after the 5-hole guy, and then you're only going to have a couple outs in the lineup. These guys are going to get hit home runs, right? These first 4 guys. So they hit home runs. They might have a bunch of solo home runs. So Schwarber comes up, hits a home run. Okay, the next guy makes an out. Next guy hits a home run. Okay, but in the bottom of the inning, the other team gets up, gets a couple walks, a base hit, and they score 2-2. So they're wasted the home runs. Right? So I think that this lineup needs to be reconfigured or fixed so that this team can score runs in different ways.
What happens if Segura came back to the old Gene Segura from a handful of years ago?
I think he'd be great.
I'm talking about him up top.
Yeah, I think he'd be great. I don't really mind Schwarber batting the leadoff. What I would prefer to do is have an on base guy, a decent hitter guy, and I'm looking at what they just reconfigured here for roster resource. They got it set up now with Schwarber and then Real Muto and then Harper Castellanos. I don't like Castellanos batting fourth. But I mean, if he has to bat fourth, he has to bat fourth. But you got Schwarber, Real Muto, Harper, Castellanos, and Hopkins. I don't know if I like Real Muto batting second. I don't want a catcher batting second. I'd rather put Segura second. I mean, here's how I would do it. And again, they're doing the left-right thing kind of down the line. But I would do Schwarber, and then I would do Segura, and then I would do Harper, and then probably like Hoskins or somebody, and then Castellanos. I'd bat him fifth. That way, you get a little more length out of that lineup.
Well, that's that old lefty, righty, lefty. So in other words, you got Schwarber, Hopper, and is Hoskins lefty or righty?
He's righty.
Righty. Okay. And
Castellanos is righty. Schwarber and Harper are lefties. So you can do left, right, but you need to have another guy or two kind of imp in there. Otherwise, you get a lot of solo home runs.
Will be interesting, and we will definitely talk about that early next week. So with that said, always remember this. If you are wagering or investing tonight, please do it responsibly. It's Friday. It's payday. It's fade the public, guys. All those public and degens running to the window instead of running home, playing the favorites and the overs, and leaving the pizzas on the ovens and coming home broke and no dinner for the wife and kids. So I say that tongue in cheek, but I've heard it a million times, and I witnessed it, trust me, the last 2 weeks. So don't be one of them. If you have a problem, pick up that damn phone. Ask for help. Why? Because we care. There's an 800 number available. Okay? Why? We care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. For myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty Webb at Webby20MLB, we wish everyone a blessed evening. Have some fun. Cash some tickets. Go UConn. We'll see you in the morning.